This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Slowman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Slowman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rail. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rail can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Baby, oh, it's a beautiful night. Isn't it great to be a Miami Hurricane? Oh, man, it is awesome. Awesome. Considering what we go through on the pro side, those of us that are Canes Dolphins fans, man, we really need this. And then the Canes fans have been waiting for this for over 20 years. Young fans that have never experienced this. By the way, before I continue, I want to make sure, are we good audio-wise? I just want to make sure, because you're not saying anything, so you're not saying, hey, I don't hear you and all that. It looks like you hear me. We're good. Give me a thumbs up. We're good. Yes, okay. Now, hey, listen, I want you guys to spin this in the best way you can possibly do it. The Canes proved that they were better than Texas A&M. They manhandled Ohio State. Today, this was only a game because the Canes made a ton of mistakes. They dropped 4 interceptions on 3 separate drives. They made all kinds of penalties and dumb mistakes and all kinds of stuff. This was only a game because the Canes were beating themselves. At no point was Ole Miss beating Miami. And that's a really good sign. Miami played a shitty game and won. They played a shitty game and won. That is very classic Canes, by the way, where you kind of play a bad game against a really good team, and then at the end of the game, you find a way to win the game. Is it beautiful? No, dude, this wasn't supposed to be a beautiful thing. This is find a way to get it in a national championship game. That's exactly what they did. Was it frustrating along the way? Were we at the edge of our seat? Hell yeah, but these are kids. And by the way, I want you to also remember, these are pioneers, okay? I talked about this on the show. In a way, we're back to 1983. I lived it. Some of you have lived it. A lot of you did not, so you didn't experience it. But that's when you're kind of breaking through glass ceilings, that you're proving that you belong on the big stage, that you're proving that you can beat the big teams on the big stage, that you're proving that you can beat even the monsters from the past, where you're 0-4 from the Fiesta Bowl, which means nothing to these people. But, for those of us that experienced all 4 of the Fiesta losses, you know what I'm saying? So you have to understand these kids, okay? Malachi, Fletcher, and the boys, they're actually starting this thing back again. These are the real young Canes that are back now. These guys are proving that they belong, and they're winning. And today was a horrible game.
A game that they easily could have lost. You and I know that with the amount of mistakes that they made. But because they're really good against a really good team, they didn't allow that team to pull away. They kept it within the score, and they found a way to win. And to me, that's a sign of a really good team. And by the way, if I also want to spin it another way too, get your shitty game out of the way, dude. Now whoever advances, Oregon or Indiana, well, now you got your crappy game out of the way. Let's play like you played in the first two games. You know what I'm saying? Were there things? Did we need him to run the ball during the game a little bit more? Yeah, dude. Yeah, there are little things like that, but they found a way to win. This is beautiful, and this sets up recruiting. This sends another message to everybody out there that the Canes are back. And by the way, we talked about this on the show. Marvelous job by Mario to not include the transfer portal in any of this crap during this run. They have focused on the playoffs. Why? Because you don't need it. You chase greatness, then everything else comes. So you go out and win, the kids will be lining up. Even those kids that want the NIL, they'll wait for the money. They'll wait for the money, especially if they hear that the money could be the same, but hey, I could go to UM and win. That's a whole different ballgame. These pioneers, okay, these young cats are laying the groundwork for future Canes teams, because none of our Canes teams the last 20 years ever won big games. Hell, they weren't winning bowl games. They always folded in all these big moments. Today, to play a game like this and find a way to win and put together a really nice drive, and good for Carson Beck, by the way, running that ball in. All those things. To me, you can sit there and wallow in your beer or whatever about, the sloppy play and the mistakes. Yeah, that's fine, dude. Yeah, they're kids. They're going to make mistakes. It is what it is. But when push came to shove, did you find the way in the game? And to me, that's what matters. That's where when I look at this matchup, that's what matters to me. That you found a way to win the damn game. And that's all that matters. By the way, please smash the hell out of the like button, because we got about 400 people watching and only 100 likes. Come on, let's go. Ooh, I saw that go from 100 to 112. Let's go. Hit that thing. We could get it easily to 200, 300. Let's go. Do it for the Canes. This was a great night tonight. This was really, really fun. Malachi is a freaking superstar. Jesus Christ, that catch with one hand. I know it doesn't matter, but he broke those tackles, went for the touchdown. He got clocked. And by the way, I had no problem with that play not being spearing, because it was incidental contact. It wasn't like, our guy unfortunately led and was looking down, and that serves, you're done when you do it that way. But the fact that he took the hit, they went to check him, he came back, and then he makes that play where he breaks the tackles up the middle and he scores the touchdown, and then he makes that play on the sideline. Jesus Christ. I got to tell you, Malachi is I've been watching Canes football for 50 years, and more than 50 years. And he's as special as anybody that's ever played on this team. He's as special. I'm not telling you he's, the best ever to play or whatever, but he's as special as all of them, dude. He is right up there with Michael Irving. He's right up there with all the greats, dude. Whoever you want to mention of all-time greats and all that, he's there already as a freshman. He's different. He's just different, man. He's just different. And you know what? Speaking of Malachi, Tony, let's do it. Let's give it our Moody Dental MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? There's only one MVP for your family's dental care.
Moody Dental. Get your smile back at Moody Dental. Visit them on Instagram at moody.dental.
Here's our Moody Dental MVP of the night.
Would the Miami Hurricanes be without Malachi Tony? Okay, I can make him the Moody Dental MVP of the night every single night because he's probably an MVP in practice. He's probably an MVP in the film room. He's an MVP off the field. The kid is the total package. When you talk about the total package, that's that kid. Okay, he's got it all mentally, physically, athletically. He's even good looking on top of all of that. Okay, I mean, maybe he's got a lady, but if not, he will have them lined up from here to kingdom come. Okay. This kid has got it all, and he sells out, and he blocks, and he runs, and he catches, and he is a great teammate. Did you see when the offensive lineman had screwed up a couple times, and there he is picking him up? The freshman picking up the veteran. Okay. Which, the right guard and the left tackle, they had some ugly moments today, unfortunately. I mean, the left tackle opens up the game by screwing up the block on the left side right there, whatever. But Malachi is everything. He's a leader. He's a winner. He's relentless. He's, physically a freak for his size. And today, by the way, let me just give you the silliness, okay? 5 for 81 and a touchdown, because who gives a shit about the stats? The human being is as special as it gets. And the foundation of Malachi being there on that team, without him, you're not here. Without him, you're not as good as you are right now. So when we talk about, getting those teeth straight, Invisaligns, dental implants, preventive care, cosmetic surgery, Moody Dental is it. Eric and the boys out there, his dad, both sons, they run both locations, by the way, in Dade and Broward County. Dade, 305-821-0231. I go there. My wife goes there. My daughter goes there. My mother-in-law goes there. Plantation in Broward, 954-692-6825. Get your smile back, folks. Check it out on Instagram at moodius.dental. Malachi Tony, baby, our Moodius Dental MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moody Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams. To schedule an appointment in Dade, call 305-821-0231. In Broward, 954-692-6825. Follow them on Instagram at moodias.dental, providing MVP smiles every day of the year.
I see Kosa puts there that Malachi about to be the highest paid college football player ever. He'll be worth every penny. But it's what I told you this week for those of you panicking about the quarterbacks. Oh, my God, they're not in the transfer portal. Quarterbacks are, don't worry about it. The Canes need a solid quarterback. They don't need to go out and have the best one. If Sam Levitt wants to come here and wait, he can. If not, he wants to go. He went to visit Tennessee or whatever, go ahead. But I remind you, since I've been around for a little while, when the Canes got it going on the way Mario wants to do it, Steve Walsh and Ken Dorsey, they weren't wowing anybody with 5 stars at all. But they played like a 5-star because they were smart and accurate. It wasn't like this amazing athlete. You don't need the amazing. If you can get them, great. But if you could just get the accurate passer back there with that line of scrimmage, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink donation. And you can also send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. It was great, man. It was just great. I'm just so happy that they ended up winning. Hateful Steve in the house. He says, even the Big O has to admit it's good to have a QB that can run when a play breaks down. Yes, it was good. Yeah, and he ran several times. Yeah, when you don't have, if you have it, great. You know what I mean? And most quarterbacks can run for 5 or 6, 7 yards if you have open field. You just got to be able to know when to take it and when to not. You know what I mean? That's also part of the problem too that you're trying to, always go to because you can't live without it. You got to make right decisions too. Jay Ellingsworth, thank you for the love on the Venmo, sir. Appreciate you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We always tell you Cash App or Venmo because we keep 100% of the donation, whereas YouTube, we appreciate the super chats and we're going to go to them, but they take 30%. That's why. Really impressed with Carson. Big plays in the biggest moments. We're going to need to play a lot better this one to win the championships. Lots to correct, but thrilled to be back playing for a championship. Hey, man, this is, again, these guys are the pioneers. They're kind of restarting the program and really putting it on the map, and that's what they're doing right now. So this is a team that's also learning how to win on its own, and winning ugly is big. Playing like shit and winning is huge. While we sat there frustrated, dropping interception after interception, pre-snap penalty, stupid penalties, whatever it was, roughing the passer, spearing, whatever it was. There was just a bunch of dumb penalties, or even at times when they should have run the ball a little bit more and they didn't. Whatever frustrations we had, okay? In the end, when you sit there at the end of the night and you go, well, wait a minute, bro, they played a bad game and they won against one of the best teams in the country. Yeah, I think we're good, dude. You've beaten Texas A&M, you've beaten Ohio State, and now you're beating Ole Miss. You know, it's not like you ended up getting like the easy street or anything like that. And they had more Ole Miss fans than Miami fans. So, you know, all this stuff, you got to just give a lot of love to these kids that they're figuring this shit out. And it's really big, really big. So I'm with you, Jay. And thank you, Jay Ellingsworth. Appreciate the love there on Venmo. Peter German says, great win for Canes. Awesome to make championship game. Didn't love the play calling in the fourth quarter when they forgot to run. I know. And all the miscues, but who cares? One to go, baby. Just win. Exactly. As long as you get there, that's all that matters, man. Appreciate you all out there as always. Sean Stanley, let's start off with the super chats. What do we got? What's first up, sir? Man of 1,005 holds. Wow, what a classic. I'm exhausted. The Canes are back. These Canes grew and made the plays when it matters. Beck played phenomenal. What a Thursday in Miami. I'm so happy. Go Canes. I'm nothing I can disagree with you. Can't disagree with you. Beck made the plays that you needed to make, made that last drive. It was awesome. Thank you, man of 1,005 holds. And he chimes in with a second super chat. He says, tickets will be sold out for Hard Rock tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I was thinking about this. Now that the Canes, you know, they're back. They're going to get another quarterback. And, you know, Luke Nickel, by the way, will go into his second year next year. And I think what they want is to get him ready for that third year so he can carry and play third and fourth years as a starter. We'll see if that, hopefully that's what works out because he's a good one. So they want to probably buy him more time, one more year to mature and all that. And they'll probably find another guy, so they'll be fine. But let me give you guys just a crazy idea. I can't do this kind of shit because I'm a working stiff. But those of you out there that actually have a little extra money and you do this kind of crazy shit that you travel, okay, now that the Canes are back, like you've got to now plan ahead and almost buy a pair of tickets in all the bowl games ahead of time as much as you can. You're going to lock it in. And then as it goes along, you can also sell them too, because the resale market is huge for sale. But you've got to now play. Like this year, you saw now you had to go to several different bowls. For those of you that, have that kind of money, God bless you, dude. But it's almost like you got to get really creative and know the times for all the sales for all these tickets and pre-sales and all that kind of stuff. It's a hell of a challenge for all of you out there to go to these bowl games, dude, man. But what an experience to be out in Arizona. How about this? For those of us that have lived it for a long time, we've lived all the losses at the Fiesta Bowl. It's nice to have a win, man. It's nice to have a win. All right, next up is Jeremy Dorsett. Big O, let's give the U a victory cigar. Jeremy, you call it, you asked for it, you got it. Toyota, Let's go. Give the Canes a victory cigar. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate the love on the super chat. We go to Suds. Suds, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O, lots of mistakes, and CBs need to learn to catch. Yeah, but how about the freshman making the play? Number 16, I forgot his name right now. But that was a hell of a play, too, for a youngin'. LOL. But what a beautiful start to 2026. Go Canes. Hey, man, listen, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I'm sick and tired of this stupid team going nowhere for decades now. And I that's why I'm not, a buddy of mine was like, still kind of like almost like a little bitter after the whole victory. I'm like, yo, dude, like relax, where you won. And, it's about just getting there and finding a way to win at this point in time. Everything's not going to be a Picasso, And so just enjoy the hell out of this, man. Our other football team doesn't do anything. They're pathetic. So, great attitude, Suds. Beautiful start to 2026. That's what it's all about, baby. It's what it's all about, man. It's fantastic to have that and to see the Canes play at this level is awesome. David Redford, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. He says, we got some Canes over here. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. Omar Medrano, he says, keep up the great content. True voice of Miami. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you immensely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Born and raised in the 305. That's who we are. Let's see. I wish we had Manny Diaz. He has an ACC championship game. Yeah, that was the story, right? No ACC. Got lucky that we got in, bro. Thank God we got in. Can you imagine if they go with the regular political bullshit and they give Alabama and Notre Dame the in, which is what I thought for sure was going to happen because we never get those kind of breaks ever. I thought like 99% sure we were going to get screwed because I'm used to the Canes getting screwed. It's kind of the way it goes. And you lose to those kind of teams, I knew that. I thought for sure, they're going to bury us with this shit. Think about this now. What you know now, if you know then that, okay, if you don't get in, you would have been in the national championship game. That would have killed us. Because if they don't get in, because of the losses to Louisville and to SMU, we would have gone, oh, man, those things screwed them. And, oh, well, damn, Mario, didn't win the ACC, didn't get in the ACC, lost to SMU, lost to Louisville. And then the politics come out. And they made the right one. Didn't think they would, but they made the right decision. I thought they would burn us for those losses. And all of a sudden, look where we're at now. Can you imagine? How crazy is that? Okay. And think about this. I've been Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Ohio State. What are you doing losing to Louisville? It's a crazy year, man. It's a crazy year. It really is. But you know what? The key thing is the team ended up winning and getting it done one way or the other. And that's all that matters. Donardo Joseph, thank you for the Cash App, sir. Appreciate you immensely. It's all about the you. Let's see. JC Sachs, Canadian Big O fan. Let's go you, Canes. All right. By the way, we thank, of course, Caneswear, one of our proud sponsors. Remember that you can visit our friends at Caneswear. You can go online at caneswear.com. Use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. You can get this hat. You can get, I don't know, do I have another Canes hat there that's close by? But they've got shirts and hats. And I got my upside-down Miami one, right? You can get that. They've got all kinds of hats and jerseys and sneakers and Oh, wait a minute. I have my sneakers that I bought here recently. I just bought these and I haven't even used them yet. Whoa. There we go. These are badass. So they've got Cane sneakers. They've got all kinds of stuff. Use our code BIG010. You'll get 10% off. And if you order over $99, you will get free shipping at Caneswear. All right. By the way, we've got, there's always a key decision in the game. And Slowman's provides our key decision in 49 of 50 states. You can order, of course, Shield Link to protect your home. And let's go with our Slowman's key decision of the game.
What was the deciding moment? Who made the right move? Where did the game change? It's the Slowman's key decision of the game. Make the smart decision to protect your home and family by calling Slowman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME, serving Americans for nearly 100 years. Here's our Slowman's key decision of the game.
Well, the key decision, the man, his name is Carson Beck. He went 23 of 37, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And he took care of the football overall, and especially in that final drive. He was sharp. He made all the right decisions, and then he made the key decision. In the red zone, he saw that there was an open field, and he just had green old grass, baby, and the man just strolled right into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. And Carson Beck has been worth every single penny that they paid him in the NIL. And you needed somebody to kind of help this team break through that glass shield and get back to being the team, because it wasn't looking that way with our conversation we just had right now with SMU and Louisville, and it wasn't looking so bright. Now things are looking a hell of a lot better for the Miami Hurricanes, and Carson Beck made the right decisions overall in this game, and that's the reason why he is our Slowman's key decision of the game. Shield Link, by the way, is an app that you can control the lights, the climate, the door locks, the music, the blinds, the TVs, everything, man. So if you're driving home, you could turn on the AC, or if you're going to be home a little late and the house is dark, you can turn on the lights so it looks like, there's a little action going on. Or if you have dogs like we do, you got to check on them. We have cameras inside and outside. Most people just put outside, but we put inside also because we have 4 dogs and 2 big-ass dogs roaming the house. Got to make sure, because they get in trouble sometimes. And then we're running home to clean up the mess. You know what I mean? But, Slowman's warns us about that too, their mess and everything else going on. So really, they've been protecting Americans for 100 years. Call them 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. 49 in 50 states, so pretty much wherever you're watching in the United States, and they'll take care of you. Tell them that Big O sent you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. And Carson Beck, definitely our Slowman's key decision of the game.
Our key decision of the game is brought to you by Slowman's Home Shield. When you want to protect your home, family, or business, call Slowman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Marco Ferrante, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. Thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. For hats off to our Canes home game. Just win, baby. And that's the other thing. Marco, you bring up a great point, man. And it's like you get rewarded to come home to Hard Rock Stadium for the national championship game. And you think about it, in a year or throughout our, history, sometimes you get the short end of the stick as a Canes fan. You get the bias stuff. There were a couple calls there that you were like, yo, what's going on here? There were a couple of holds early in that game, like close to back-to-back almost. And you're like, yo, are you guys not watching them holding our receivers? That kind of stuff. But there were so many mistakes by the Canes that I just – I couldn't even talk about those kind of things. But for the Canes to have the honor to win this thing at home in our backyard, it's just, and by the way, don't forget, folks, let's add a little caveat to all this stuff. Okay, you're in your backyard. All the high schools in South Florida are watching. And you guys know how important Florida is. And Canes fans, you know how important it is to put that fence around South Florida. So Mario has been able to advertise and promote his team nationwide on all these bowl games right now and all these big-ass moments, national TV, everybody's watching. And now on the national championship game, you're going to do the same stuff, but at the same time, you're also doing it right in your backyard. And that's going to leave an even bigger impression. And to me, I mean, this is a ball that is rolling down, a snowball that is just growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And by the way, let's thank the administration, because I was one that was very critical of this administration for a long, long time. Like many of you, Manny's been coming on my show for 20 years, dude, 30 years or 25 years or whatever. And for the last like 20 years, we've been talking about, or 15, let's just say, we've been talking about how UM is not spending money and they were going on the cheap and all that kind of stuff. Kudos to the administration, man, because they were willing to pay, and look how it's now turned around on them, and now they're going to get paid back in spades, because now they're in a national championship game. They've got an opportunity to add the 6th national title. That is pretty freaking cool. Okay? I mean, and it's in a 26. So I think we need that for our collection, right? A 383, a 585, a 787. No, I'm sorry. No, so you lost 87. A 9 for 89, and a 1 twice, 91 and 2001. We don't have a 6. So, we get to collect a 6 now in the whole thing. So there you go. Finish off and just collect the different numbers along. Oh, by the way, 2026 6th championship. I mean, how is it not? And I was born in 66. So there we go. I mean, if that's not set up for us to win, I have no idea what is. Give me a Modelo now. Okay? The mathematician making it happen for his team. Give him a Modelo. Is that not how it goes? No? Can't do it that way? I'm not entitled to a Modelo? Huh? Let's see. Ray, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. Yes, sir. R&M Contractors. He says, great win, even though it was ugly, but I'm super happy for them. And like I said earlier, Ray, I'm actually happy about that now. During the game, I'm frustrated. At the end of the game, I start to think about, well, wait a minute. It was only a damn game because Miami made a bunch of mistakes. Okay, so while they're really back, they played a shitty game and won. This is really good. I like this. They can play shitty and win at the highest level. Yeah, they're back. They're back. He says, please keep in mind, nobody never thought that the Canes would be playing for a national championship game. No, I you can bet it, and because it's long odds and have some fun with it. But no, I never had them in the national championship. Listen, I told you guys already. I just needed them to get into the playoffs and win one game. Since you didn't win the ACC, and you didn't win the playoff game in the ACC because you weren't there. Okay, you got in the playoffs, win one game. And that's it. What have I told you after the Texas A&M game? I'm done. You're playing with house money. Oh, you beat Ohio State? Holy shit. Now you beat Ole Miss. Now you're in the national championship. Wow, this is amazing. Even if they would have lost today, I wasn't going to be incredibly pissed. I would have been frustrated. I would have told you, hey, man, it sucks that they made the mistakes. But the fact that they got this far is absolutely amazing. Kudos to the team. yeah, we're frustrated. That's kind of the attitude I would have taken because, like he just said, like Ray just said, none of us had him here, dude. So we can't act like we belong here and all that, and we have to be here. And we're this isn't like the days back in the 80s or 90s when you did fall a little short and you were like, well, wait a minute, bro, our team was much better than that. And you can really make that case. That's not what it is right now. That's not what it is right now. So, I'm with you there. Jay Ellingsworth, once again, sir, thank you for the love on Venmo. He goes, Big O, I'm in the middle of the weirdest dream. Mike McDummy got shown the door, and the Canes advanced to the Natty all on the same day. Please don't wake me up. That's true. Like I was telling people, look, I don't think Harbaugh's coming, okay? I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I think he'll go to a better spot when it's all said and done. But it doesn't matter what happens. The good thing is you will get a fresh start one way or another, a new general manager, a new head coach. If you brought me back Mike McDaniel next year, I really would have been so dejected with Dolphin football. At least this, I don't know what happens. Look, if you get Harbaugh, fantastic. But if you don't get Harbaugh, who knows what happens with what comes in? If you're getting a new general manager and new head coach, you never know. So maybe something happens over the next couple of years and we get something good. But you're right, Jay. The fact that we got Mike McDaniel fired today and the Canes make it to the national championship game, it's a beautiful day today. For those of us that are, Canes and Dolphins fans, of course. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Omar Medrano, he says, I got 15 on that 6-pack of Modelo. Enjoy. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Thank you. Miami Breaker 305 says, can we give victory cigars for Kirk Herbstreit? Hey, that's right. Dude, that's a nice call on your part because kind of like he was the instigator of the Canes and all that stuff. And then the administration, like they wouldn't listen to my ass for years because who the hell am I? I'm an idiot. But all of a sudden, Kirk Herbstreit challenges them. I like that, dude. Miami Breaker. That's a great call. Go ahead, Sean. Give Kirk Herbstreit a cigar. I got to tell you something, and this is going to sound so fannish. What was it? Was it Fowler that was calling the game next to Herbstreit, Sean? Did you kind of get that he had like a little Ole Miss vibe about him? Some of the things that he would say about, about the Canes, like it was almost like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, and I'm trying to think of the exact examples, but there were a couple of moments that he said some things that were like, why would you say that? Like, that's almost like showing a little favoritism, It happened a couple times, and I'm like, it's kind of odd, which I doubt it really he does that, but I just got that sense a couple of times. It was really weird. Really weird. I don't know if anybody else picked up on it or something, but it was just kind of strange, dude. That's all I can tell you. It was a strange brew. Okay. By the way, what isn't strange is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game. And today we got to give it to somebody that stepped up in a big time way.
Who brought the edge? Who changed the game? Who is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker? When you want to give your home or business the edge, call Cutter's Edge Pro in South Florida for all your landscape solutions. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com difference maker.
You cannot put everything on Malachi, yet we do. And he comes through and he makes plays, and he makes plays in the moments that, you need it most. And he is just doing all kinds of superstar stuff. But in order for you to be in the national championship game, in order for you to be a much better offense, other people have to become a threat. And Keelan Marion, he was exactly that today, man. He He made big plays. He helped move the chains. He scored a big touchdown, obviously, in a game where we're talking about the difference in this game was 4 points. I think Keelan Marion made a big time difference in the game. 7 receptions, 114 yards, and a touchdown. Marion was absolutely freaking awesome, dude. So, yeah, this team is nowhere close to where it's at right now without Malachi Toney. But if you want to win the national championship, and if you want to win in these kind of big moments, it can't be only about Malachi. Other people have to step up, and I got to give Keelan Marion some big-time love. And that's why he's our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game. Cutter's Edge Pro, William Quigley and the boys, they've been at this for years now. AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. They've got over 70 trucks. They do landscaping, outdoor lighting, irrigation, artificial grass. My dogs love the artificial grass. It's like our 4th year that we have it now, and it is just absolutely amazing. Landscaping adds value to your home and business on top of all of that, and it could also help you with your energy bills too at the same time. So, talk to the folks at Cutter's Edge Pro. They know how to design the place, make sure it looks great, and improve the value, and maybe also improve the aesthetics of your home. Like our backyard now, like 70% of it is shaded. That allows us to hang out in the backyard a lot more and allows our dogs to have a cooler area to hang out. That's really important. Cutter's Edge Pro, folks, 954-472-0622, and tell them that Big O sent you. And Keelan Marion is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
The Cutter's Edge Pro Difference Maker is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com, servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com, providing South Floridians the edge every day of the year.
All right. What else do we have here? Martin says, had to get up at 2:30 here in Africa. As soon as we didn't run the ball on 3rd and 2 on that first drive, first quarter, I knew we were in for a long day. Well done, Kings. And thank you, sir, for checking us out all the way back in Africa, man. That is impressive. Who would have seen this coming after losing to SMU? Nobody, dude. Nobody. I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't a good moment for us during the season. That was tough to watch. Lenny Pena, we got a little too cute on the first drive with the Wildcat. Yeah, I agree with that. It would have been help to just keep it simple. If we would have just stuck with the regular running plays, we would have punched it in the end zone on that first drive. But, hey, we won, yeah, and the left tackle screwed up on that blocking. I agree with you 100%. Let's see. Toshiba, wow, what an incredible game. Too bad Lucas will have to miss the championship game. He's been such a huge part of the defense, but wow, what a win. Yeah, you're right about that. By the way, don't forget, smash the hell out of the like button. But Sean, do me a favor, man. Put up a poll question right now. Okay? I want to see out of the people that are watching, we got a bunch of people watching, who are they playing in the national championship game? Because Jesus, what storylines? So you play Indiana and the Miami kid comes back to his hometown, leading Indiana, winning the Heisman to try to win the national championship against his hometown team, the Miami Hurricanes, that did not recruit him. Or Oregon gets there, and now it's Mario Cristobal, and Oregon fans are happy to get rid of Mario Cristobal, and they're happy with Dan Henning, right? So all of a sudden, Lanning. And so all of a sudden now, they're happy with their guy Lanning, and now can you imagine if Mario ends up winning the national championship against his former team, and that fan base that kind of turned on him a little bit, they'll be like kind of, a little sour. So either way, the storylines are going to be absolutely awesome. So I'm wondering what you guys think and who's going to win between Oregon and Indiana. I don't know why. I'll be rooting for Indiana all the way. But I just kind of get a feeling about Oregon in this one. I don't know why. It's pretty even. But man, Indiana has been super, super impressive. I'll be rooting for the kid because, I'm a Cuban American kid myself. So, well, not a kid anymore, but a Cuban American man. There we go. The poll question is out. Who will the Miami Hurricanes play in the national championship game? Oregon or Indiana? Make your bets or put in your vote. The Cuban Gangster says Big Carson Beck won the game at the end. He could have choked but came through. He didn't choke. He played well, and they're in the national championship game, dude. Everything's gone well. Okay, he had the one bad game. Outside of that, he's been pretty damn solid all the way through. Mark V says, can you imagine, Malachi, if Jeremiah Smith decides to come home? Boy, oh boy, our next QB will be ecstatic. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you. That's why I tried to walk a lot of you off the ledge today and yesterday about the whole QB thing, that you guys got to chill, dude. It's not that bad. Canes will be fine because of the team they're building nowadays, and that offensive line. They've got more monsters coming. So this is going to be awesome. Dougie Fresh says, oh, this game, the U is like John Lennon making milk and honey. You just made epic music in spite of having a screaming psycho trying to get the mic. Exactly. Exactly. It's awesome. Jeremy Dorset says, you missed my super chat from earlier. Can you pull up the super chat from Jeremy Dorset earlier? Al Golden couldn't do this. The golden ticket doesn't work. No. It's hard to do it without Golden when your linebackers in the end zone are like 8 yards deep. So yeah, it's really hard. And Jeremy, thank you very much for the donations. Appreciate that. Rocky says, Cuban guy here too, Big O. Yeah, man, I'll be going for the Mendoza kid, and I'll be telling you exactly that it's all because of the blood. That's the only reason I'm going to go for the Cuban kid. But to be objective, while I'm be rooting for Mendoza in Indiana, I just think Oregon is a slightly better team. So we'll see. I may be wrong, but either way, the storylines are going to be delicious. Absolutely delicious. Direct Cross says, Big O, the last time you won a natty, our QB wore number 11. Very interesting. What else? Let's see. Pedro says, I need a GoFundMe page myself to go to the game. Pricey as hell. I know, dude. I know. It's these things are pricey as like I wanted to go to Rush, and I would have to like take out a second mortgage in order to go to Rush. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll watch it on TV. Plenty of us will watch it. It doesn't make us any less of fans or anything. I always say this. The dude sitting in Ohio or in Alaska or in Africa, like and watching their Canes or Dolphins, they're just as big a fan as the guy that goes to a game or pays for suite tickets. It's just you have that luxury. They don't, but that doesn't make you any bigger of a fan than they are. If they're following their teams and watching their teams constantly, that's all that matters, dude. So it's a beautiful thing, man. It really is. It is a beautiful thing. Chambliss got lucky. Miami dropped 4 interceptions in that game. Yes, he did. That the only reason this game was close was because the Canes made mistakes. Outside of that, no shot, baby. No shot. Canes outplayed them and dominated them in this game. And that's where I got to give them a lot of credit. And you got to be proud of the effort that the Canes put together overall, man. It was really, really cool. All right, what else do we have here? Let me see if I get a couple of other questions early on in the chat board so I can go somewhere. Who do you want to face, Oregon or Indiana? I want Indiana because of the storyline for the Miami kid. Yes, sir.
Upper Bowl starting for $3,200 a ticket.
$3,200 Upper Bowl. Yeah, dude. It's like going to a Super Bowl. Yeah, I can't afford shit like that. There's no way I could afford that. There's no way. But I got to tell you something, to be quite honest. If I had, I mean, again, I'm in a different spot. I've been to national championship games. I've already seen, 5 other ones. So maybe I'm in a little different place. But like $3,200, you know what I'm about to say, right, Sean? I'm spending most of that on Bitcoin, bro. I'm keeping a couple $100 and putting the rest in Bitcoin if I have that kind of money. Oh, no way. I want to make sure it grows like crazy. Yeah, so no.
Apparently, fans are already buying tickets. 500 have sold in the last hour.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Big O, I listen to Zagacki and DBJ here in Illinois go crazy. I lived in Miami all my life. I'm screaming like a crazy fool. You should be. We've earned this shit, dude. It's been over 20 years that we haven't had pleasure, that we haven't enjoyed Canes football. It's been a disaster. It's been one bad coach after another, an administration that didn't care, didn't really want to spend money, Shalala and all the other buffoonery that went on. And then we had also the investigations and Shapiro and all that BS that went on. And so we have earned this, dude. We have suffered like crazy. It's been 20 years that the Canes haven't mattered in college football. Over 20 years. So this has been a long time coming. The most frustrating part is that you and I know it was always there. The soil was always rich. It just needed to be, natured. Somebody had to actually nurtured, that is. That somebody had to actually bring it to life. Have the green thumb. And the administration and here's the other blessing, it looks like it's working out. We were worried about Mario a little bit, but that you got a lifer, which is something that Miami has never had. Every coach they've ever hired, pretty much, except for Mark Richt, because he was in the back end of his career, but every coach you've ever hired, right, was only here for a stepping stone. And those days are done. And now you've got a guy that if he can continue this, you're never going to have to search for a coach for a long time. By the way, that's a luxury the Canes have never had. They always lose their coach within a few years. He's off to the NFL or off somewhere else or whatever it is, and that's been kind of disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sucks overall. So, yeah. Malachi is Santana Moss plus. Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think that he is so perfect as a human being and a player. Like, he carries himself. He's just one of those dudes, right? He's like one of those Derek Jeter types. You know what I'm saying? Like, impeccable. He's one of those dudes. Yeah. It's pretty special to watch Malachi Tony at this age. He's more mature than I am, and I'm 59 years old. Let's see. Big O, do you think you could get a media credential for the Natty? I don't know if I could do that right now. Like this late. I don't think I could do that. I don't think so. No. Not that I really want to go, to be quite honest. I have no intentions. I'm fine watching it at home. I've done all this stuff already, bro. I've been at national championship games. I've covered the national championship games. I've covered, parades. I've covered all this shit. I've done all this shit already. So it's none of this is new to me. And so I'd rather watch and calmly be here and do the show from the platform and be able to talk with you all and share these great moments, sometimes shitty moments, and then get people like hopefully Manny Navaro. We'll get him on soon. Hopefully he'll be joining us in a few, and we'll get our our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes post-game report. We'll see what his thoughts are. Miami Jimmy says, I'm in Italy. It's 6:33 a.m. I started watching the game at 1:30 and still haven't gone to bed. What a great job by Miami. Exactly. And good for you, see? That's what I'm talking about. That's a real fan, dude. That's as fan as it gets. You're watching overnight where you live because the time slot is a little different. But that is so cool that you're enjoying the game out there in Italy. It's 12:35 here, 6:35 over there. Bless you, my brother. Bless you. Good for you. What else do we have here? John says, all the blunders Cristobal did the past 3 seasons are gone. Glad he put it together. Yes. I mean, you got to bust through that threshold. And that's what Cristobal has done. We needed one of the coaches, whoever it was, to finally win a bowl game. Or in this case, win the ACC championship game. Or in this case, win a playoff game. Or 2. Or now 3. So you've done all of that. And he's been playing with house money now. He didn't really, Mario didn't have to win this game to say it was already a great season. Let's get that shit straight. Okay? It was already a great season once he beat Texas A&M, and then when he beat Ohio State, it doesn't get any better than that. We're, plus as much as we love Ohio State here in Canesland, you know what I'm saying? So this is awesome. This is awesome. And if he can win a national title, this is stupid. Okay, because that's kind of ridiculous, Yeah, by the way, where Mario Cristobal was maybe in this year after SMU and the Louisville loss, follow me on this, he's losing ground. Isn't it interesting? Because you don't get to the ACC championship game. You don't win it. So you kind of fell behind because your team was way better than all those teams in the ACC, and you should have been in there. So it's interesting that now you get the chance to get in the playoffs and you make up for your it ended up becoming a bad season. And then all of a sudden you get in the playoffs and you turn what would have been a bad season into an incredibly successful season, and so successful that you've turned the fortunes of the entire program around. It's pretty amazing. Night and day. It's what I told you earlier in the post-game show, that can you imagine if they don't get in knowing what you know now? Oh my God. That would be ultimately frustrating. It's impossible to be in that position because if you don't get in, you don't really know how good you are. But now you find out how good you are. And the reverse is true. You find out how good you are. What are you doing losing to SMU and especially Louisville as bad as you did? So, yeah, Mario kind of turned everything around from this season because of this playoff run. Where are we at on the poll question? 72% of you are picking Indiana. Poll question there says, who will the Miami Hurricanes play in the national championship game? So who do you think is going to win? Big O, accept Mr. Ross's invite to the Nat'l Chip game. Yes. Send it in, ears. I can't wait to Manny. Listen to Manny. He deserves his victory, too. Yeah, he's been covering this for a while, and they've been really bad for a while. Yeah, I feel good for Joe Zagacki and Don Bailey Jr. and Josh Darrow and those guys that they pay the price. Victor Bermudez loves the team. He's a massive, massive fan. Good dude, too. Works his ass off as a producer. Those are all good people, man. Those are really, really, really good people. I'm happy for all those dudes. They work hard and they really care about the program and really wanted to win. And you hate to see like Steve Goldstein year after year, and the Panthers don't get. And then finally, here comes Vinny Viola, and the fortunes change. And then now you feel so good for Goldie and for Red Deer and all these guys that have been around through all the bad times, all the mediocre times. And you kind of, you're as a fan, we kind of connect together, because they're suffering like we are. They call the games every day, and they feel the same pain that we do. Let me see here. Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Andrew Watson, little love on Venmo. He says, sugar downtown, Big O. Don't ever get mature, brother. Once we get into our 50s, we are granted free pass on immaturity. Keep talking your smack on this. It makes you likable and lovable, salty sugar, Big O, that we all love. Canes, baby. There you go. Appreciate it. Well, I'm set in my ways, so I am who I am. Yeah. But I feel you, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much, and appreciate the love. That is very nice of you, Andrew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Did Miami cover the spread? It was 3.5. They covered it by 0.5 point. Those guys in Vegas, they're all right. There's a reason why they build all those big-ass casinos. They build them so big that they go, okay, we need to build the casino so big that by the time they got out of the room and they get down to the lobby, they've already walked 0.5 mile and they have no interest going outside. They're just going to go over to the food court or go right here to the casino or whatever. They don't even want to walk. That's how big. So it tells you how much money those people are making in Vegas. The mathematics and the algorithm to all of that, they are just absolutely genius. And they do it all the freaking time. Everything is math, dude. Everything is math, pretty much. Just is. Algorithms are the thing of the world, Doesn't matter what it is. There's an algorithm for it, Just kind of the way it goes. Let's see what else. Kosa says, you've earned it, Big O. Always praising his wisdom and foresight. Be gracious and attend with your family. Your pets are invited as well. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Sonny Hirsch. I worked with Sonny for a few years. Love Sonny Hirsch. He used to call me Tampa because my name's Orlando. So he had a nickname for everybody. Okay. If he liked you and he's associated with you and all that kind of stuff, he gave you a nickname. So mine was Tampa. So, figured, Orlando. Okay. Well, I'm going to call you Tampa from now on. Sure enough, I was a producer for Sonny Hirsch on 940 Wins for a stretch too, doing an evening show. And it was great watching him place bets during commercial breaks, calling the bookie and all that and following everything going on. I think Sonny Hirsch had a bet on everything that was going on in sports, pretty much. Nicholas says, we better not effing lose at home. That would be disappointing and disrespectful, especially after paying all that money. Well, I don't think they're trying to lose, my brother, okay? I think they're trying to win every single game. And by the way, some of the Canes are taking some pain too and suffering some injuries. You know what I'm saying? So let's give them a little respect. This playoff run is also taking a toll on them, but you got to be really proud of where they're at right now. I like the Oregon QB. I like the Alabama kid a little bit better than the Oregon QB. I guess we're splitting hairs or whatever. Some people like Moore better than him. I don't know, however you want to look at it. But I slightly like the Alabama kid over the Oregon kid. So we'll see. Mendoza, I think, is the number one quarterback in this draft. He just looks the part mentally and physically and everything else. He just looks like the kind of guy that's going to translate really well to the NFL. Not that he has superstar talent, but he just reminds me of those really solid, smart quarterbacks that, as long as you give him a decent line and all that, so he can actually do his work, he'll be just fine. So I definitely think that Mendoza is the number one here. But yeah, who knows what at the next level. We'll see. It is what it is. Tom Stocco says, Scorpions, there's no one like you. By the way, let me give you the stats on the game. Might as well run down the happy stats. Carson Beck, 23 of 37, 268, 2 touchdowns, an interception. Mark Fletcher, once again, Studley, 22 for 133 yards. Shamar Brown, 14 for 54 with a touchdown in the game. Malachi Toney had 2 rushes for 11 yards. Keelan Marion, who we just were talking about, 7 for 114 and a touchdown. Malachi Toney, 5 for 81 and a touchdown. CJ Daniels, 4 for 26. Elijah Lofton, man, that was a really nice catch in the middle of the field, and then he took the shot, and unfortunately he went out with an injury too, overall. On defense, Jacoby Thomas had 5 tackles, all solo tackles. Muhammad Toure, once again, 4 tackles. He had the only sack of the night. Toure had it. This kid has a knack for making some plays, man. He really does. He's a hell of a player. Mesidor ended up with 4 tackles, no sacks. Xavier Lucas also suffered an injury, and he's probably out. He had 4 solo tackles. Zachariah Poyer, a heck of a player, also had 4 solo tackles along the way. So those are some of the stats in the game. And Miami just kind of dominated, overall. That's why this game was frustrating for us, because Miami, okay, so here we go, 28 to 23 on first downs. Third down efficiency, Miami was 7 of 14 against Ohio State, 11 of 19. What's it called? Ole Miss, 2 of 10. Fourth down, they were 2 of 2. They didn't have one at Ole Miss. Total yards, 459 to 398. What else do we have here? Rushing, 191 to 121. Rushing attempts, 51 to 21. The only thing is, because of that 1 yard long run, they had a higher average at 5.8. Penalties. Here's where Miami, 10 for 74 to 4 for 34. That's the reason why. And dropping 4 interceptions too. Time of possession. Miami had the ball for 41 minutes and 22 seconds, and Ole Miss had it for simply 18 minutes and 38 seconds. Miami was the better team from beginning to end. The only reason was the mistakes. That's it, dude. If you don't make the penalties and the turnover, and you take care of the ball, okay, you grab those turnovers, it's a completely different game. You win by double digits in this game. They dominated everything about this game. It's just they ended up making mistakes and gave them life. That's it. And that was the tough part, So let me check with Manny Navaro. See if I can get an update. What else do we have here? After what I saw tonight, I'm thinking Beck might translate to the next level. Third day guy. Please don't start with the Dolphins, okay? I don't want anything to do with the Dolphins with Carson Beck at the next level, to be quite honest. I'm looking for somebody better. So I don't know if I would be looking at Carson Beck for the NFL. I'm just super happy that he's leading my favorite college team to a national championship game, and hopefully its 6th national title. That's all I'm happy for, overall. I don't need to look into it that much more. Let's see. Beck reminds me of Purdy. Anxious for the next game, feeling like it's most likely will be a blowout. Well, I'll for us. Is that what you're thinking? Well, I'll take that, dude. If you know something we don't, I'll take a blowout, dude. Yes, I'll take a national championship game. Super boring, and Miami wins 51-3 like we did against Texas, right? Wasn't it like 51-3? I'll take it. I'll love it. I don't care if everybody's bored to hell with it. We'll be loving it, which is really all we care about is, the Canes. It's all that matters. Nothing else. By the way, Manny will be here in about 3-4 minutes. Okay. He just gave me the heads up. The country of Trinidad is proud tonight. They should. Now they should go Tobago. Dolphins draft Ole Miss kicker in the first round. Hey, I like that guy. I want the Ole Miss kicker. That guy will win a game of horse because, he can aim for the upright. That's pretty cool. The guy hit it twice. That's special. And the first time he's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let me make a rebound in. And then the next time he made a rebound in. That is Studley. I want that kicker. Because I want a kicker that's going to make kicking fun, and he'll bounce it off the right upright, maybe off the left one. Maybe once in a while he'll drop it right on the middle and boom, and it'll go over and in. I want that. And I want to see him call it like a pool shot off the left upright, and then he kicks it off the left upright. I love that. I'm all for that, dude. I think that's fantastic. That's the way you got to go about it. Yeah, man. Let's get a kicker that can win in horse. Win with style points. Randall Hill in the tunnel. You remember? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. I've been listening to Manny. To what? I've been listening to you and Manny for over 20 years. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for also adding that I'm old as hell. This is year 36, bro. Year 36. And also 6th year of the platform. So that's the other great accomplishment for us here. Because, most people thought when I started this, I might last like 2 months. And so now we're 6 years in, so a lot of people like kind of eating crow. So it's very satisfying, to be quite honest. Very satisfying. And thanks to all of you out there, as always. Manny is on his way upstairs, and he is going to join us, So we are awaiting Manny. All right. Let's see. No Doubt says, thank you, Canes, for knocking the SEC out of the playoffs. That's right. Yep, the SEC and now the Big Ten. You got to knock them out. So, yeah, the two big bad conferences you end up eliminating, which is a beautiful thing. I like that. I'm with you. But listen, that's how the Canes always were. When they were in the Big Least back in the day, they would be playing Oklahoma, Nebraska, and all these top teams, and they would beat them. And they weren't in the same conference because none of those top teams were in the Big Least. And it's kind of the same thing. The ACC, another crappy conference, which is like the Big Least, same thing. Those are the teams that you've got to now. And by the way, they're the ones that get all the press. They're the ones that have all the pull. So if you become that team that you were back in those days in the Big Least, you'll have the instant respect, right away. And by the way, it's coming. Okay. Some of these teams are going to back out from starting to play the Canes too. They're not going to want to play the Canes out, and they're out of schedule, And I know that we're going to like 9 games, I think, so it's going to limit what you do. Plus the the Florida State is part of the 9 games. But overall, I understand that it's going to limit you, but things come around, they go around all the time. What goes around comes around, as they say. I just would not be surprised over the next couple of years if Mario's able to build on this and become a monster. You'll have some of those teams that maybe you could schedule. They're not going to want to schedule you anymore. Especially those Big Ten and SEC teams, because they're playing in their conferences, and then they're going to go play a team like UM that will ruin their chance. Yeah. So that's going to be kind of – the good thing is Miami needs to just dominate the conference so they can get into, the playoffs on a consistent basis. And you cannot lose those Louisville games anymore. Those things cannot happen anymore. You're too good to lose those kind of games. That way you can give up a game like to a quality opponent that's one of the better teams in the country, and you can still get away with it and get in, but you cannot keep losing those ACC games, unfortunately. What else do we have here? Signature win. Jim Kelly beats Penn State at College Station. Lou Saban helped set the table. Yes, sir. Peach Bowl. I remember that, how that season ended. What else? When I heard the refs were Big Ten, I was like, here we go. We're Canes fans, so we're damaged. That's the screwed up part. We're damaged as Canes fans. What are we gonna do? We've been through that hell. All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Manny Navaro. Let's get to our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes post-game report.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navaro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navaro.
Manny. It is a beautiful evening, my brother. And I got to tell you something. My sway of emotions were amazing. But if you look at it, it ends up becoming something super beautiful, okay? One, we're going through this game and we're watching them make one mistake after another, a stupid penalty. They dropped 4 interceptions in the game on 3 different drives. They allowed points on the board because of that. The only reason it was a game because Miami made all those mistakes. They dominated the stats, all of that. And so they find a way to win the game at the end, which is a sign also of a good team. But the most beautiful thing actually that ends up coming from the night is your frustrations for 3 quarters and 75% of the fourth quarter ends up becoming a strength, because now Miami at the highest level plays a shitty game and wins.
Yep.
That is another step, because you played 2 great games against A&M and Ohio State. Tough games, smart games, no turnover games, intelligent games that one little mistake could have cost you everything. And Ohio State, you dominated. So this game, I think what showed you another level of the Canes, believe it or not, as ugly as it was, the end result kind of shows a little bit more about who they are.
Yeah, this was all about resilience. Oh, when you think about it, this was about a football team learning from its mistakes earlier this year and learning that, okay, when we get in this situation again, this is what we need to do to win, right? And you think back to the SMU game and the situation Carson Beck was in with a chance late to throw a touchdown to Malachi Tony, and instead he gets picked off. Comes down to the field, same situation. Keeps the ball, runs it in for the game-winning touchdown. Didn't force it.
Right.
And to me, that's what this has all been about. This is about a team finding its way and surviving through its mistakes and learning how to win over time. And it just took time for them to figure it out. And now it's unbelievable, man. It's just unbelievable that they're in the national championship. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and the storylines are going to be awesome because you're either playing Mendoza, the Miami kid, or Mario is going up against his former team in Oregon. So you're going to have juicy storylines, either way, right? It's pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. I mean, there's nothing but great stories to write off of this. And, tonight, man, like Jessica Cristobal, Mario's wife, she was on the field picking up the confetti. She's like, I'm going to put these in Christmas, ornaments. And, you see all the people who have been a part of this, man, like just enjoying it. Like Calais Campbell, so many years came back, bro. He was in the NFL. And we talked about this tonight. His career started, he would go to the Pro Bowl, and there were thousands of Hurricanes with him, right? Because there were so many great players. And then year by year by year, it just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it was just a sign of how bad this program was and how things were going in the wrong direction. And until he was really the last one. And tonight, he's like, dude, there's so many great players on this field. And I'm so happy to see, from just a talent perspective, what Mario has built here. Because when he came to Miami in 2004, they were still great. They still had great players. Right. And it took a lot of work, man, to get to this point. And, to me, his little story, his career, he was kind of the last dude that you think about in terms of great players, from the early period to now. It's taken a lot of work and a lot of time, but they're here, man. They're here and they're playing for a championship. So. And
by the way, Malachi Tony, I know it's his first year. He's as great as any player that's ever played in this university. He is a special talent as it gets, dude. He is relentless. He is mature. His maturity was ridiculous. The lineman's, the guard screws up a couple times and he's disappointed. And there's Malachi like trying to pick him up, and it's that kid, bro. He almost made that catch. I mean, he made the catch, but he almost got the foot in bound. Like, wow, the drive that young man has is ridiculous. It just is.
And to think that, again, I know it's been said a lot, but that he's supposed to be a high school senior, right? And that he rushed to graduate early and get here. And he was sleeping in the building with Keontae Scott, who's 24 years old. Here's an 18-year-old kid who doesn't need anybody to tell him this is what it takes to be great. He just has that ingredient in him to go the extra mile, and it rubs off on everybody. And that's what Miami has now. They've got great leaders, dude. Like for years, you and I would talk about who are the locker room leaders, right? That you'd have a DJ Dallas, or you'd have one or two guys that you're like, yeah, that's an old school Hurricane. Now you got a roster full of them. And that makes a difference. That's what makes nights like tonight special, because they have those guys in a plethora of them to help get out of that situation.
You've talked about this a couple times throughout the season in our reports that, it can't be all about Malachi. Somebody else has got to step up too. Tonight, Keelan Marion, dude, he was a man and a half in that game today.
He really was. And you think about identifying the right guys in the portal. I talked to Kevin Beard about this for a long time in the postgame. When you're looking to fill holes on your roster, you can't just bring in a guy with a huge ego, right? Because that guy may not fit the locker room dynamic. This Keelan Marion guy was at BYU. He was an excellent return specialist. He was a guy that was a big play receiver for them. And, you know, Miami goes out and spends money to bring him in to be an asset here to help. But he never came in with this attitude of like, oh, I'm the portal guy. You're supposed to, you know, kiss my feet or whatever. Like, he let Malachi Tony be the star, and he never let it affect him, dude. And that's, you know, again, you have to find the right personalities for your locker room, and that's the key. I think when you're exercising the portal and you're looking for guys, you have to know what fits. And Miami did a great job evaluating that kid, because nobody heard of Keelan Marion down here in South Florida, but at BYU he was a player, and they're like, hey, not only does that guy fit our system, but we brought him in, we talked to him, and now we know he can really fit our locker room, and that's what you need.
Like Brown too, same thing. You know,
Yeah.
a guy doesn't come from a top-notch program. What was
Marty Brown was at North Dakota State.
North Dakota State, dude. Like, you know, you identified a guy in North Dakota State that can play and be super productive, and he really is a terrific change of pace back. You know, to what's it called? That to me is absolutely awesome watching, you know, Brown. And that's, again, all that stuff that they're doing, making guys fit. You are making a good point there overall. Just leaders all over. All right, so injury-wise, where do we stand? Mesidor, Ward, who else got banged up? The tight end got banged up too. What do we know about any of the injuries?
I saw Mesidor afterward. You know, he it was his elbow, I think, left elbow brace. He landed on the helmet. He was signing autographs, lifting the arm up. Didn't look like a guy who had a broken elbow or anything like that, but we'll see. Obviously, you got the 19th is the game, so you got 11 days to heal here before you play. So we'll see where he's at. I think OJ Frederic got banged up in the first half. I don't think he came back. Miami had to go with freshman Jabari Antoine there after
he made a hell of a play.
Oh yeah, down the sideline. He got called for the PI, which, you know, debatable, right? But you know, they have guys that are dealing with stuff right now. In the secondary, especially. You're not going to have Xavier Lucas for the first half of the national championship game.
Yes.
Yeah, Lucas is not. He's going to miss the first half of the national championship game because of the targeting penalty in the second half. So he has to miss the first half of the national championship. So hopefully they get some of these dudes back. Damari Brown didn't play. You know, you had guys that were questionable, didn't end up playing. Motendo came back. Mesidor came back on the field. So we'll see where they're at. But listen, man, 11 days, 10 days to heal up. They'll have time.
Yeah, no, they'll have some time. There's no doubt about it. But obviously, you want to make sure you get out of there without serious injuries. Kosa, by the way, says huge shout out to Manny. The man has had to cover the uglies and the lows, and has remained positive. I would say you've been fair, is what I would say. There'll be times that, you know, we had to rip the program and all that. Like we used to rip the administration for not spending money. And now this is all paying out in spades for them.
It is, and that's really what it all comes back to, is the commitment from the administration. Because look, Donna Shalala was here tonight. She was on the sidelines. You know, they changed presidents twice since she was there, and obviously Joe Echeverria and everybody. You know, I talked to Stu Miller tonight, who's obviously one of their huge donors and giving tons of money to the school. And everybody there wanted to see the football program succeed. They just didn't really have the directive from the top to make it happen. And once Joe Echeverria took over, he was a huge football fan. It became a different story, and it became all about, hey, this is an important thing for us, and a lot of people behind the scenes deserve credit for that. And you know, I just told the story as it is. I always do that. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what my job calls for, right? To call it like I see it, not just be a homer or a hater. Got to be in the middle, and that's what I do.
By the way, marvelous job by Mario by not making the portal a thing during this and make it a distraction. And he's all about the rat poison and don't give me compliments and we don't want to hear about any of that. And the whole portal thing could create problems like, oh, this guy's coming, that guy's leaving, this, that. And they've tried to minimize it completely. They're not really signing any big names or anything. They're not really doing any of that right now. And I know we have fans freaking out about the whole quarterback stuff, but I just think that that's a little extra that he did, because it's kind of like Deion Sanders says. He goes, kids now in college football, they all chase the money. Yeah. I chase greatness. When you chase greatness, the money comes. And I think that that's what they're doing right now. Instead of going out there and trying to chase the top picks, no, let's focus on this. And if we win the national title, even kids that want NIL money will be waiting just to join us, overall. So I love that he has used the playoffs as the priority and put the portal on the back burner.
Yeah, and there's no doubt, I talked to some people tonight that, the last thing you want to do is disrupt your locker room, right? When you're 2 wins away from a national championship, not 1 win away from a national championship. And I think without question, there's young guys on this team that want to know, that they're appreciated, right? And if you go out and sign a free agent in the middle, right before you're playing in the championship game, it could turn them, it could turn their focus away from what matters, which is the next game. And so I think it's a very sort of difficult thing to juggle right now, that the way this calendar is, the way this game is. I talked to Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, tonight about that, and that's priority number 1. Everybody in college football says the calendar has to get fixed and that things have to be moved up. And so I expect that the ACC and Jim Phillips and a lot of the bigwigs in college football are going to change the calendar soon, because it's just an unfair situation to have free agency in the middle of your postseason. I mean, no sport does this but college football.
By the way, unlike the MLS and the Inter Miami, they won the MLS Cup, not one pot and pan. So it's really, I don't know if that championship really happened, but right now in the streets of Miami, we have the pots and pans, baby. It really happened. Until you get pots and pans,
right?
I don't know,
it's not real.
Yeah, I don't know if your win really, and we got pots and pans, and it's not even a championship game. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Listen, man, the amount of passion for this program. Listen, I mean, Dolphins, how long of drought have they had, brother? I mean, the Canes, I mean, listen, I mean, this is it. Like, we waited how long for the Dolphins to do something? Then the Canes have this long layoff. I mean, they are carrying the city right now, right? So, this is football. This is our passion in South Florida.
If the Canes win a national championship, every team and the Canes, all the pro teams and the Canes have won titles during this whole Dolphin drought.
Yep. It's amazing. And the Canes went through a drought and then came back and got one.
One.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Like, it just shows how inept that franchise is when you compare it to everything else that's going on in town. And by the way, that's the other thing. How badly did football fans, especially fans like me, like you, that are local fans, people that root for the Canes and for the Dolphins too, at the same time. Like, we like needed this badly, bro. Like badly.
We did. And again, kudos to Mario. Everybody was clock watching, right? How long is it going to take him to win? And you have, the alien, as I like to call him, up in Indiana, who does it in 2 years, right? Where he gets his team, he turns Indiana from the worst to first, but he's the only one in college football who's done it. Like Mario, you think about it, 4 years to now is pretty good.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Like this is even faster than Jim Harbaugh with Michigan.
No,
right?
faster than any of us expected it either. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way,
this is a sustainable winner, by the way.
Yes. But in just a few months, in 2 months, he changed the entire projection of the whole team, because when you add the SMU and the Louisville loss and you end the season not winning the ACC and everything, it's a failed season. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden we're going to go into the offseason with like, oh man, is he headed in the right direction? And then you get the break where you get into the playoffs and you're able to redeem yourself.
Yep.
And because you've been able to redeem yourself, now you've taken a failed season and you've made it an incredible success. You know, so it's really cool that the politics played in their favor, because I certainly did not expect the politics to play in their favor. I thought for sure Alabama and Notre Dame were going to get the nod, because that's the bullshit that always happens. You know what I mean? And I thought also the SMU and Louisville loss was going to be like a real stain for them overall. And it didn't happen. But they got the opportunity to redeem, because it was a failed season before the playoffs.
Yeah, it certainly was. And, you know, we talked about it. You get one win and you kind of justify things, right? You made the playoffs, you made the final 8 or whatever.
Right.
But this is pinch me now. We're in gravy land.
Yeah. Well, you know, the other thing I was talking about earlier on the show is this is 1983 all over again. These kids are reestablishing the winning culture. And nobody had done it in 1983 at that point, and then they established it, and then it started. These guys are reestablishing it again, because, you know, in years past, you and I would complain that what we had were people that were entitled, that were there, they wore the helmet, and they thought all of a sudden they were and see, Mario has kind of dumbed them down. No, don't start that shit. You guys want to be that? You got to go lay it out there and prove it. And that these are the first guys that have broken through that glass ceiling of showing everybody that they know how to win and win in these big moments.
Yeah, and it took a lot of work, bro. Like, it just think about the Middle Tennessee loss, like all the losses, all the scars, all the embarrassment that they went through, and hearing, you know, oh man, this program's never gonna get back, and you know, just a lot of negativity. And you got to give Mario credit for letting that brush off his shoulder. I thought tonight, the timeouts that he was calling, the way he played the clock late, I thought he's learned, right? This is the Mario you were hoping to see. A guy who made good decisions.
There were a couple moments where I wish they would have run the ball early in the game. I wouldn't have done the Wildcat thing. I would have just stayed to the basic offense and punched them in the mouth and drive it in there. But whatever, it is what it is. There were a couple of brain farts, but overall, yeah, no, it was great. It was great. They've been actually tonight. I would have blamed more the kids than the coaches if they would have lost, because all the kids were in positions to make plays, and they're the ones that failed to make the plays. So I cannot blame coaches when players are right there in position. You know, JoJo Trader has been a disappointment. The guys dropping, you know, interceptions left and right, offensive linemen, you know, pre-snap penalties, you know, all these kind of things that I can't necessarily blame the coaches at this moment, because, dude, for the last 2 weeks, you guys have played impeccable football, pretty smart football, and all of a sudden tonight, brain farts left and right. So that's where I would have actually laid it more on the players today. I thought the coaches overall coached a pretty damn good game.
I mean, listen, the game plan was to perfection. I talked to you before. I said controlling the pace, right? Yeah. And they did. They controlled the ball. I mean, the amount of plays that they ran compared to Ole Miss, that was the right game plan. The problem was they gave up one long touchdown run,
right,
and didn't capitalize on offense when they were moving the football, right? They had a couple little moments of sacks and penalties and little mistakes, and they kept Ole Miss in it. And then the second half was affected by the loss of Lucas, the injuries. You know, Ole Miss started to move the football on the defense a little bit easier, but listen, they survived, and that's what matters.
All right, who do you got them playing tomorrow?
I picked Indiana. I think Indiana's the best team in the country. I just do. I think Kurt Cignetti has them playing at a really high level. I think the championship game with Miami is going to be unbelievable. Probably another game just like this, going down to the wire. And it's just which quarterback wills his team to victory.
That Saban tree, amazing.
It's a good one. Yep, absolutely.
It's not rotten like Belichick's tree.
Yeah, that tree needs to get chopped down, brother.
That's a stank ass tree that you gotta like burn down to the ground or something. But Saban's tree, holy moly, dude! Gee, and they eliminated another one in Kirby. just in the last round, you know? So, like, that is insane. 5 of the 8 were actually, I know 4 of 4, but 5 of the 8 were his too. So insane. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navaro. Catch his work at The Athletics. You can get the coverage over the next 10 days. What is it, 10 days we got now to the game?
19th, right? The Monday night.
Okay, so we got plenty of time. Get his coverage, and he'll be covering because it'll be right in his backyard, baby.
Short drive, baby, short drive.
Subscribe to The Athletic, and The Athletic is very happy that they don't have to pay a big bill on the road for this one.
Hey, we got a lot of people coming down, man. You should have seen this resort. You've been to the Camelback before? That's where they had us up there, the Camelback Resort, and oh, beautiful area, man.
I have not been there. Maybe one day, but they're saving money with you on the national championship game. So
yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And a little bonus there. All right, so make sure you subscribe to The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Same here, man. See you soon.
You got it. Caneswear, baby. Come on. Get out there. You can go to caneswear.com. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. You know they're going to have Fiesta Bowl shirts. You got to get your Fiesta Bowl shirt. You know why? That's a collector's item. That's our first Fiesta Bowl win. Our boys were 0-4. I don't have any good Fiesta Bowl memories. I have shitty Fiesta Bowl memories. This was a good Fiesta Bowl memory. They've got Cotton Bowl shirts. They've got all kinds of hats. You name it, jerseys, sneakers. They got all kinds of stuff, man. So go check out Brett and Jeff and Jack and Ken Graff and all the amazing people out there at Caneswear. Tell them that Big O sent you. Caneswear.com. Order over $99. You'll get free shipping. And use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. David Redford, thank you for the love on Cash App. He says, your Mount Rushmore of Canes players all time. I'm going to go Michael Irvin. God, this is so difficult. So freaking difficult. Oh. I'm going to go Ed Reed. I'm going to go... This is hard. I'm going to go Warren Sapp. And Jerome Brown. I mean, you know, it's subjective. You know, I can see some of you having only one of the 4 guys I have. So, you know, but thank you, David. As always, appreciate it. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Shane says, thank you for the love on Super Chat, sir. He says, how about Cam Ward being there on the sidelines? That was beautiful, Shane. It was good. It's good to see the former Canes there, man. It's good to see Ray Lewis there. It's good to see Michael Irvin's crazy ass there, Edrin James. That is, to me, that is the cool thing about the Canes history is all those players. And what I love now is that they're building that legacy back up again. And Mario is getting those stud players and more to come that are going to be great Canes players. And they're going to move on to the NFL, and we're going to get into a little bit of that groove that we used to be in a lot. Johnny M., thank you for the love on the Super Chat. The thing is, this is the standard. The U is in paradise with the best brand in college football, the caliber alumni. Good on Mario for knowing the standard. Well, he lived it. He worked it. He played it. So he knows exactly what it takes, and he knows he knows the team, he knows the culture, he knows the community, and he's a lifer, bro. He's a lifer. And that's the best thing about having Mario here, that if it works out, which it looks like it's finally turning the corner, you got yourself a lifer. And you can't beat that. So that's really, really cool. All right, folks, we're out of here because we are at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Let's do it at 11, Sean, since it's a little late here. We'll go at 11 a.m. tomorrow at Craig Zinn's. Normally it's 10, but we'll do 11. Appreciate all of you out there. Hit the like button, please. Smash the hell out of the like button before you go. We appreciate it. We thank Sean Stanley. We thank Manny Navaro. And we thank the administration. We thank Mario Cristobal. We thank the players, because on behalf of all of us football fans in South Florida and other parts of the world, those of us that are Dolphins and Hurricanes fans, this night is special for Hurricanes fans, but it's extremely special for Hurricanes/Dolphins fans, because there is no light at the end of the tunnel with the Dolphins. And with the Canes, we have finally crossed that threshold where maybe we're going to be in this mix on a consistent basis. And that's a lot of fun. Thank you all out there for supporting us throughout the years. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about a beautiful national championship game for the next 10 days. And then we'll watch it. And we hope that the Canes add one for the thumb, baby. One for the thumb. Appreciate you all. Have a great night. Go you.